I'm wondering your thoughts on capping credit card rates, knowing you've got some pretty big banks in your state. The likes of Bank of America might not love this idea. Do you?
Well, it's not about the big banks. It's about helping folks. And I think Rob was right. The folks that they are trying to help right now, this actually would hurt. You've got about $3.6 trillion of our economy going through credit cards right now. That's about 12% of our GDP. And ultimately, you're going to have 100 million people. You're going to have a lot of people that will not have access to credit if they cap this. Because remember, these are risk-adjusted rates. And if all of a sudden you cap it at 10, there's a lot of folks that don't fit under that. I don't want to encourage consumer debt. I don't want somebody to finance a pair of sneakers, but there are a lot of people that have pop-up medical expenses or a quick home repair that they don't have any other avenue to. And if you cap this, you're going to move a lot of people off of this. And then if they need money for an emergency, they're going to end up going to loan sharks. So I think the people that you're trying to help, it actually doesn't, and it's a bad idea.
Okay, well, not mincing words there. You know, we heard from the CFO at JP Morgan Chase when the earnings report hit earlier this week, Senator. A pretty interesting take. Jeremy Barnum said, our belief is that actually this will have the exact opposite consequence to what the administration wants. That's basically what you're saying. Have you delivered that message to the White House?
I have. I've been very consistent on this. I mean, this idea just keeps coming up like a zombie every few years. Long before I was ever in Congress, I was just trying to manage a young family, and I had a debit card that actually got airline points years and years ago, and that's how we would travel as a family. But I was using a debit card. But after the first Durbin Amendment went through, which dealt with the interchange fees on debit cards, again, these debit cards went. They lost all the rewards. And then it moved people, it's fine with me, but it moved some people that didn't need to be on credit products into the credit world, thus encouraging some consumer debt. Again, I just say let the market handle this. You're trying to help people with affordability. Let's do permitting reform. There are so many things we can do on this other than this Durbin Amendment. I think it's a bad idea, and there's so many good things that we could be doing.
Well, we talk about affordability and healthcare premiums fall into that category, which has been a raging debate on Capitol Hill. As you're getting ready to leave here to get back to the home district for some time, I'm just wondering how you're looking at the Moreno bill and other attempts to revive these expanded Obamacare subsidies. The open enrollment period is closing right now, Senator. Is it too late? Are we giving up the ghost on this? Will you be up with a new plan?
Look, I love Bernie Moreno. I don't agree with him on this, but I do think we need to help folks have high quality health care at a reasonable price. We've got all the levers in this economy and in this country to do so. We have the best quality health care, but again, it's very expensive. And I really think that what Obamacare did 16 years ago, remember, that didn't pass by breaking a filibuster. That passed with 60 Democrats. It was a high water mark for them, but a low water mark for the individuals that are subject to Obamacare. They broke Obamacare in 2009. They figured out it didn't work, so they propped it up with subsidies. Then they set dates for those subsidies to expire, and that's up with it's what we're up against right now. So I don't think you need to keep propping it up. I think we need to get something that doesn't give all this money to insurance companies. And by the way, if you look at their stock prices over the last 15 years, that's fine if they want to be a great company and create a great product for people. But we sent all these federal dollars to them and steered it away from the individuals. So they've lost consumer choice and people have lost their options. And they said, if you want your doctor, you can keep your doctor. But that wasn't true. I think we need to give people more choice, more options, and put money in their pocket.
I've also been looking at stocks in defense contractors, Senator, which have been cranking lately with just so much business. And now the new prospect of a 50% increase to $1.5 trillion defense budget, according to Donald Trump. You're on armed services, you're on intel. And I'm deeply curious to hear your thoughts about what's going on or not right now in Iran. The president last evening said the killing has stopped. Some softer rhetoric when it comes to the mass protests there. Caroline Levitt, just now in the briefing room, says Donald Trump warned Iran of consequences for protester deaths, grave consequences if Iran killings continue. He spoke with Benjamin Netanyahu last evening, who reportedly asked him to postpone attacks. Do we need to strike Iran again, Senator? Is that next?
Well, we want to do this. Anything we do, we want to do it in conjunction with our allies. We don't want to be a sole actor there. But again, we want to support the Iranian people who've been oppressed for the last 50 some years. It's been absolutely heartbreaking what's been going on. since 1979 with the Ayatollah and the regime there. It's not the people, it's the regime, and anything we can do, whether it's sanctions, which he's placed on there. And again, I don't think after forever wars in the Middle East that the people want boots on the ground. We want an effect, but we don't want to be there forever. I think we love our young men and women in uniform too much to send them over there, especially on a long-term basis. But what you did see is a very precision strike in Iran back in June. And then more recently, you saw a very precision operation in conjunction with law enforcement on Maduro. So we get in, we get the effect done, we get out, no boots on the ground.
You want to see a carrier strike group back in the Med? Reportedly, the Lincoln is on its way. Is that how you understand it?
Well, we always want to be ready, and it's better to be prepared than to be behind the curve on this. And I think that's what President Trump's thinking. He's always ahead of the curve on these, and I'm grateful for it.